Yo! Welcome back to From the Void Gaming, the channel that talks about a whole bunch of random stuff, and kaiju, and horror, and anime, and a whole bunch of other stuff that honestly doesn't get brought up enough in this channel for it to have its own category, but that's besides the point. This is an awful intro, but today we're going to be talking about the monsterverse. I have a whole bunch of other videos about the monsterverse, including two-part videos that talk about the top 10 kaiju that need to come into the monsterverse. I also have a whole bunch of other videos talking about stuff that needs to come into the monsterverse, or things that I don't enjoy about the monsterverse, or I'm pretty sure I did a full-on review of the new Godzilla X Kong with Scar King and Shimo and all of that. So if you want to go and watch any of those, please go and check that out. And other than that, I guess I can just go ahead and tell you what this video is. This is going to be a bit of a just a rant about what the Monsterverse should do with their upcoming movies and how to expand the universe in a better way. And this is 3 specific movies that they need to make, with the first one being something that will seem a little bit random, the second one which will be something that is extremely random but is also something that a lot of people have been asking for. Basically any kaiju fan has been asking for, and every single Monsterverse kaiju, because it's a fan favorite kaiju that I'm going to be talking about. And the last one is going to be the meeting of the first with the last. So it's kind of going to be the Thanos event, I guess, if you want to put it in to the MCU type of stuff. But yes, the Monsterverse is something that I think is really cool. I might do a full-on ranking of all the movies in order from least to best, or worst to best, at some point. But for now, we're just going to be doing this video. So, without any further ado, intro, intro, drop it down. Word to your mother. Let's get right into the video with number 1. The first movie idea that I'm going to be talking about is something that I'm not going to spoil for now. This is going to be kind of like an SCP Foundation type of movie with Monarch. They will have found a strange egg or something. This can be a series or a movie, literally anything, honestly. And it is going to be basically a slow burn horror movie with a smaller scale kaiju. This is going to be a very big animal. I say animal, but it's going to be a kaiju with its own specific design and everything, but it is basically just a giant spider. If you are a kaiju fan in general, or just a Godzilla fan in general, you are probably going to get a light bulb going off in your head telling you exactly what kaiju I'm talking about, but I'm not going to spoil it until the end because, like I said, this is going to be the Thanos of these movies. This is basically just a little horror movie, honestly. It's kind of like Cloverfield, except kind of SCP Foundation coded, I guess. Because it will be all about the Monarch, like the Monarch place. You know what they are, the scientists and everything of Monarch that deal with the kaiju and everything. They will find an egg or a little caterpillar carapace or something like that. Maybe they find something, I don't know, something a little bit, just something. They find a strange spider. Spider entity down in an area and take it for research, but before they know it, they figure out that it's escaped its enclosure and has already molted. They find a little molting, and it's like small, but almost as big as a human. But as the movie goes on, they keep on finding new moltings along with its victims. Now, in this first movie, the spider would be something like this, just a normal baby spider, just much, much bigger. It would end the movie being about 3 times larger than a normal human, just big enough to stay within the Foundation walls without actually falling, actually destroying it all. So that would be basically all of it, and it would be a normal creature feature type of horror movie where it's basically just hunting down all of these just scientists and everything that was researching it on the monarch side of things, and we would follow a monarch scientist that is actually doing all of the research on it, and we would slowly figure out that this kaiju might be more intelligent than most others. This one is setting traps. It understands why they're researching it, and it understands when they turn out to want to kill it because it's, gone rogue and all of that. And they are actually going out of their way to trap people, even though they could escape anytime they want. They want all of the scientists dead. That aspect of this kaiju would cement it as the first ever one, other than Ghidorah, I guess, that is just straight up evil. They're not doing anything for any greater purpose like Scar King or anything. Even Ghidorah had a purpose of taking over the kaijus and being the king of the monsters, but this kaiju wants nothing more than to kill the scientists and researchers that captured it. And I think this would be a really cool juxtaposition of the other monsterverse movies where they're more action-packed and everything, but this one would be a very good way to introduce Monarch scientists and everything. Keep in mind, I have not seen the Monarch series. I want to watch it, but I do not have the streaming service that it's on, so I can't really watch it, so whatever. And this would be a very good way to introduce new scientists and everything, because the last one will survive. He will just simply find a way to eject it into the, I don't know, into the ocean or something, and then they can just say that, oh, its carapace is so strong that the nothing can get through it, even the pressure of the water, which is kind of like, that's exactly what they did in -0, but whatever, it's fine. And yeah, it's basically just that. At the end, he gets ejected into wherever, and it literally ends on a note of, well, crap, we couldn't even kill that tiny kaiju. I don't know what we're going to do about all the other kaiju. And the Monarch Society, or what, not society, whatever they're called, the scientists and everything have to be like, maybe we should rethink how to deal with these things, because we obviously do not understand them enough to be researching them up close like this. We need to figure out our crap. And it would basically just be a good way to make Monarch come off as a I don't know, just a normal research division that needs to figure their stuff out. And maybe we would see in the franchise as it goes that it does get better, like they get better technology, better knowledge on these things and everything. I just think that would be really cool. And that's basically where this first movie would end. This second movie is a Mothra movie. Obviously, Mothra is a fan favorite in the Monsterverse and in kaiju fans in general. So let's get a Mothra movie. She was reborn in the I cannot remember what it's called, but it's the area that's the Hollow Earth. There we go. Reborn in the Hollow Earth. So now she is the Hollow Earth's protector, like guardian angel of sorts, I would say, would be how this movie is going. I don't know how they're going to take Mothra after this, because Mothra has been a kind of weird creature in the Monsterverse, to say the least. How she was reborn doesn't really match how she was born in the first place, but whatever. They had to retcon a few things to get her as good as she is now. But Mothra would be fighting a creature that I think is already being hinted at, because there are tunnels that seem to be man-made or made by some creature in the the Hollow Earth. So I think that it would be amazing if Megalon actually came and was the main villain of this Mothra movie, just because it's basically destroying the like the people that live in the Hollow Earth's like temples and everything, just by moving through it and everything. And maybe it's not even doing it out of malice or something. Maybe there's a Queen Megalon or something that's forcing it to do that, and then they team up to fight it. Or maybe he is just a bad guy that's trying to destroy it for whatever reason, and then they have a big fight. I think this would be a really good way to bring Megalon into the Monsterverse, even if it is just for one movie. And I think that the Monsterverse could probably come up with a really good redesign for Megalon, just because Megalon already has one of the best kaiju designs ever, and I think just add a pair of beetle wings to Megalon and he would be a huge threat to Mothra in general, just so he can get into the sky and everything, and he would be attacking from underneath the ground too, which is awesome. I just think that would be a really, really cool movie, just to introduce Mothra as more of a main character instead of a side character to Kong and Godzilla, and it would introduce Megalon, which is a fan favorite that everyone has been wanting in it. Now I know I said that there were only 3 movies in this. I'm pretty sure I did, at least in the intro, but I have another mini movie for you. This is going to be basically the introduction of Jet Jaguar. They have to create Jet Jaguar for whatever reason. Godzilla's in hibernation for the winter or something. This would make a really cool Christmas movie, actually. Godzilla's in hibernation. We'll say he's hibernating over the winter. We'll retcon it to where that he has to do that for some reason, or he just got done with a big attack. Maybe this would be the sequel to the last movie that I'll be talking about in 1 second. But they create Jet Jaguar very quickly to fight the new menace, which is actually Anguirus, another fan favorite. I know kaiju fans in general and Godzilla fans alike, literally everyone loves Anguirus. He's such a cool little guy. I love him. I think that it would be amazing if they made Jet Jaguar to fight him, because Godzilla was out and Kong is now in the Hollow Earth. And they think that Anguirus is going around destroying cities and everything, and there has to be human characters, obviously. So the scientists that create Jet Jaguar actually, like through the movie, they figure out that, oh, whatever destroyed these cities couldn't have been something like Anguirus that is like on land. It looks like strong winds destroyed these cities and everything. And also slowly through the movie, they figure out that Jet Jaguar is slowly gaining sentience somehow. And it eventually all accumulates into Rodan, basically being the culprit for every single one of these cities that have been destroyed and everything. And Anguirus has been hunting down Rodan because he's trying to save people and everything, just because he's one of the good guys, basically. And Rodan, being the prick he is in the MonsterVerse, I hate MonsterVerse Rodan, like on a personal level. I think the design and everything is sick, but on a personal level, I do not like him. I might make a whole video talking about that. But yeah, he's basically been framing Anguirus on accident. And yeah, Jet Jaguar and Anguirus have to team up to fight Rodan, and Rodan actually fatally wounds Jet Jaguar until a lightning bolt hits him and he gains sentience. And that's how he gains sentience. And it cures him, and he gains some lightning powers along with sentience. I think that would be really sick and really cool. Give Jet Jaguar some new powers. Give him a little lightning laser thing or something. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, that's basically it. It would introduce Jet Jaguar, Anguirus, and Rodan would be there, and it would give us some new human characters, which I think people would probably like, just because any scientist that's smart enough to make Jet Jaguar and cool enough to think of Jet Jaguar is going to be a fan favorite. Come on. And this is the last movie idea that I have. All of the other ones, other than the first one, was just things to introduce kaiju that I love and people have been asking for a lot. This one is the culmination of the first movie that I had thought of, and this. This would be a normal Godzilla movie. I'm not talking a normal MonsterVerse movie or anything. I'm talking a normal Showa era movie. This is literally Godzilla versus Kumonga. That's it. That the giant spider kaiju from the first movie was Kumonga. If you don't know who that is, it's a really cool spider kaiju from, you know, Godzilla versus Kumonga. It's from the Showa era. It looks really cool. The MonsterVerse could redesign it to be even better, if you ask me. It's just a regular giant spider with some pretty cool powers, to be honest, and a really cool design. So let's just get into what this movie would be. Kumonga has been just running around doing random stuff, destroying places. He has actually taken over an entire city, webbed it up, made it his entire fortress, and he senses something coming, a literal force of nature, and it ends up being Godzilla, who has sensed that something is messing with the balance of the earth and is just coming for Kumonga, like, just viciously. And yeah, he ends up walking straight into a trap because Kumonga, like I said in the first movie, they realize that he is more intelligent than most kaiju and can actually set up a trap. So Godzilla walks straight into his translucent webs and gets stuck for a little bit. And Kumonga actually gets the jump on him, fights him a little bit. Godzilla bursts through it with his fire breath, which actually catches it all on fire. So the end fight, or he does that later afterwards. So the end fight is actually just surrounded by a burning city, and Kumonga ends up being a mother in this version, which I personally think is cool. This is a cool idea, I think. It's basically just a normal spider with the eggs on its back. I don't know who drew this, but this is awesome. I actually didn't know this was drawing the first time I saw it. It threw me for a loop for a second. But yes, this is what I want Kumonga to look like. I want it to be having babies on the back and everything, and they're about the same size as Kumonga was in the first movie that I said. So like 2 times bigger than a human. So they are literally just small spiders to Godzilla. And yeah, they just have a fight with the small baby spiders running around trying to bite him and everything. And they eventually do get him, like Godzilla, with the poison, which would have been revealed in the first movie to be a slow acting or fast acting on human paralytic type of thing, to where it paralyzes your muscles and makes you lay there. So Godzilla is sitting there just completely defenseless, and Kumonga comes up and it just goes like that. I don't know, the fight would happen. I don't know, the scientists end up having to help Godzilla from Kumonga. I want Kumonga to be this like larger than life threat to Godzilla. I want them to make it clear that Kumonga is smarter than Godzilla. Not more powerful, nowhere near as powerful, but definitely smarter. It is using its babies as basically fodder to get him with the poison, and it takes like thousands of them to actually kill him, but Kumonga has millions of them on him, so it doesn't matter. And I want it to be this thing where Kumonga is pure evil, just wanting to kill everything and take over everything just because it can, and it uses everything at its disposal, even its own children that will definitely die, to destroy Godzilla because it's the only threat that it has to face because every other kaiju is too scared of it. I just think it would be really cool to give Godzilla a threat like that, because the other threats we've had, like Ghidorah and everything, have been cool. Ghidorah was by far the best one. The Mudos were cool, but really weak compared to him and not very smart. Scar King was really smart, but also very weak. Even Shimo seemed to do basically nothing to Godzilla. It seemed like Kong could have taken both of them on his own, but that's besides the point, I guess. So this would just be a really good way to bring back a cool Showa era kaiju and give Godzilla a threat that is actually menacing, and his own movie again, because it's been a while. I think King of Monsters was the last actual just Godzilla movie we got, and then we got Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla X Kong. So let's get a Godzilla only movie. I just think this would be really cool. It doesn't even have to be Kumonga. You can do the first movie I said, and then this with literally any kaiju. Just make it a different animal or different kaiju. I think the Kumonga works best for the first movie just because finding the husks of the spider that it leaves behind as it grows bigger and bigger, and like some of its victims laying around it and everything, would be a really creepy scene, and I think it would be really cool to get a horror kaiju movie from the MonsterVerse. But yeah, this is just a couple of the ideas that I've had. There are so many things you could do with this MonsterVerse, especially like even the original stuff. You could make your own original kaiju for this series and it would work completely fine, because that's exactly what they've done. They've basically made a Godzilla fanfiction that literally anyone can build onto, as long as you keep it within the universe with Monarch and everything. But yeah, like I said, these are just a few of the ideas. If you have any ideas for MonsterVerse movies, or literally any MonsterVerse ideas, please comment them. I'd like to hear people's ideas for this universe, because like I said, it's literally just a Godzilla fanfic at this point, and it's really cool. I like it. Yeah, tell me which one of these movie ideas you think is the best. I know for a fact that it's gonna be a little bit split in the middle for the first one because I don't know if MonsterVerse fans really want a different take on the kaiju genre with horror added and stuff. I personally really do. I love movies like that. Like Cloverfield was really cool, but I think the idea that I had is way different than Cloverfield, but close enough to where if you're a fan of Cloverfield, you'd probably love it. It's more of just a regular creature feature instead of a full-on kaiju movie, but I thought it was a good idea. And Kumongo as the big bad for the arc, I thought was really cool. Mothra, I always love Mothra. I think my Mothra idea was really cool, and I love Jet Jaguar. He's one of my favorite like mech kaiju, you know what I mean, of all time. But yeah, if you have any ideas, comment. If you liked any of my ideas, comment. If you thought any of them were bad, comment, and I'll actually write it and try to get it good and do a whole video over like step by step what the movie would be to try and change your mind on it. But yeah, just like, subscribe, all of that type of stuff. Tell me your ideas. Say if you liked my ideas. Tell me what your favorite kaiju is in the comments. But yeah, I don't know, man. I like kaiju. Do you? Kaiju? Okay, see ya.